Clark's record-breaking season does more than add numbers to her resume. It sends a message to the WNBA, to her critics, and to the fans. She's not just a great rookie, she's a generational talent. And the scary part? This is just year one. Before Caitlin Clark, the WNBA was growing, slowly. After Caitlin Clark, it exploded. More fans, more sellouts, more people watching women's basketball than ever before. That's how many WNBA records Caitlin Clark rewrote in her first season alone. From assists to three-pointers to all-star votes, she didn't just make history, she erased the old records and built new ones in their place. But the real question is, how did she do it? Let's break down the numbers that even Clark's biggest critics can't argue with. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court for her WNBA debut, expectations were sky high. But instead of crumbling under the pressure, she thrived. Her playmaking ability was immediately on display, and it didn't take long for her to start shattering records. Most assists in a single season by a rookie. Clark owns it. So how exactly did she turn the WNBA into must-watch television? Let's break it all down. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, measurable, and impossible to ignore. Before Clark, WNBA arenas rarely sold out. The moment she entered the league, Indiana Fever games became the hottest ticket in sports. Road games in New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas packed. Even teams that never struggled to sell tickets, like the Chicago Sky and Phoenix Mercury, saw Clark-related attendance spikes. And it wasn't just in-person crowds, TV numbers skyrocketed too. The Indiana Fever's debut game shattered viewership records, pulling in millions of viewers, more than some NBA playoff games. ESPN, ABC, and CBS started prioritizing WNBA broadcasts like never before. Why? Because people were tuning in specifically to watch Clark play. When one of the most respected Indiana Fever legends gives you that kind of praise, it's hard for critics to keep their argument alive. Clark's redemption story was never about words, it was about actions. Clark didn't clap back at critics. She didn't engage in the off-court drama. She just played. And in doing so, she proved every hater wrong. She forced Swoops to watch as her former teammate praised Clark. She had Jonquel Jones publicly shutting down negative narratives. She earned the respect of Tamika Catchings, an Indiana Fever icon. This wasn't just about basketball, it was about validation. And by the end of the season, there was only one question left. Who's still doubting Caitlin Clark now? Multiple MVPs, past and present, saw the impact she was making. So how did this full circle moment unfold? And what did it mean for Clark's journey? She heard the critics. She saw the hate. And instead of backing down, she proved them all wrong. From Cheryl Swoops questioning her toughness to Jonquel Jones shutting down false narratives.
Be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way and they thought that she would. And so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that. And then they realized like, oh no, she's actually not racist.
Most assists in a single season by a rookie. Clark owns it. Most assists in a single game by a rookie? That's hers too. But she wasn't just dishing out assists. She was a scoring machine. Clark broke multiple three-point shooting records, proving that her limitless range from college translated perfectly to the pro game. And that wasn't even the most impressive part. Clark wasn't just dominating on the court, she was dominating the conversation. Her popularity reached unprecedented levels, and fans made sure the league took notice. Clark's impact wasn't just about scoring. She was dictating the pace of games, setting teammates up for success, and thriving under pressure. By mid-season, Taurasi's tone changed. Instead of talking about Clark's weaknesses, she was suddenly talking about Clark's work ethic, her ability to handle pressure, and her love for the game. Taurasi even went as far as to embrace Clark post-game, offering her respect in front of the cameras. This wasn't just a small moment, it was a complete reversal. It was a clear sign that even legends couldn't ignore what was happening. Cynthia Cooper had been one of Clark's biggest question marks. She believed Clark was talented, but thought she was just another three-point shooter. However, as Clark's game evolved, Cooper saw something different. She started calling Clark crafty, praising her vision and playmaking. Cooper even admitted that Clark was a much better passer than she initially gave her credit for. For someone like Cooper, a player who dominated the early years of the WNBA, this was a huge admission. Diana Taurasi, a WNBA legend, laughed off the idea that Caitlin Clark would dominate at the next level. Lisa Leslie questioned if she could even win Rookie of the Year outright. And Cynthia Cooper, she thought Clark was just another shooter. But then the season happened. Clark's shattered records brought millions of new fans to the WNBA and turned former skeptics into believers. Now, the same legends who doubted her are praising her.
This is what people don't know about Caitlin. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so-so. She is a great passer, but also she's crafty. I saw her get the ball, lay it up on the back door cut, like they waiting for her to pop out to the three-point line. Boom, she slips back door, gets that bucket. Like, she is crafty, and she's just a rookie. She's just a rookie.
Start off, Caitlin Clark right now, Indiana Fever. What is she doing for the WNBA? How much do you love it?
Obviously, Caitlin Clark effect, being able to come in, but what I think is what she brings.
Yeah.
Coming from the college zone, there's a lot of great rookies that have come in. She's definitely spearheading it all.
She acknowledged that Clark had transformed the Fever franchise overnight. She recognized that Clark wasn't just playing well, she was elevating the entire team. More than Aja Wilson, more than anyone, ever. Her impact was so undeniable that even WNBA veterans who once questioned her abilities had to acknowledge her greatness. Before Caitlin Clark, no WNBA rookie had ever put up numbers like this. Rookies are supposed to struggle. They're supposed to take time to adjust. But Clark? She adjusted immediately. Instead of hitting the rookie wall, she only got better as the season went on. She wasn't just breaking records, she was changing the way people viewed rookie seasons. Clark's record-breaking season does more than add numbers to her resume. It sends a message to the WNBA, to her critics, and to the fans. Veteran superstars Breanna Stewart and Candace Parker didn't hesitate to give Clark her due. Parker, who has been a face of the league for years, stated that Clark wasn't just helping the WNBA. She was changing the game of basketball, period.
I think that's what she's done for the game, in general.
Before Clark even stepped onto a WNBA court, Taurasi warned that reality was coming and that Clark would struggle to adjust to playing against grown women.
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
At the time, it seemed like just another veteran humbling a rookie. But before Caitlin Clark was a household name, before she was breaking records, before she was a professional athlete, she was a kid with a dream. And, like so many young basketball players, she looked up to Maya Moore. Clark has told the story many times. She still remembers the exact moment she met Moore. She didn't have a phone to take a picture. She didn't ask for anything more than a quick autograph and a hug. And for her, that memory never faded. But years later, something incredible happened. Imagine being a little girl watching your basketball hero dominate the game. Now imagine years later, that same hero is standing in front of you, praising your greatness. For Caitlin Clark, that moment happened with Maya Moore.
All I ever wanted to do was meet her. I didn't have a phone. My dad didn't have his phone, so I just ran over. It's like, can you sign my shirt? Signed my shirt, gave her a hug, ran away. It's like the most vivid memory I have of women's basketball growing up. And honestly, I still tell everybody that story because it meant so much to me. It's so cool.
She is leading in all of the statistical categories as a rookie, minus rebounds. Obviously, Angel Reese is averaging a double-double, but the impact on the team, we are talking again at nauseum about Caitlin Clark leading as a rookie the Fever to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. They are ahead of the Chicago Sky. So I think, to me, if this is even breaching a conversation of splitting this, it might as well be, hey, you're a rookie, here's an award. You're also a rookie, here's just an award for being a rookie.
However, as the season unfolded, Leslie's stance shifted. Clark wasn't just performing well, she was carrying the Indiana Fever and rewriting the WNBA's history books in the process. Leslie eventually changed her position, admitting that Clark had adjusted to the WNBA better than she expected. It was a clear sign that even legends couldn't ignore what was happening. Cynthia Cooper had been one of Clark's biggest question marks. But then came Cynthia Cooper, one of Swoop's former teammates and the first ever WNBA MVP. Cooper publicly defended Clark, calling her one of the craftiest players she's ever seen.
Like, oh my God. But she's so crafty. This is what people don't know about Caitlin. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so-so. She is a great passer, but also she's crafty.
Let's break it all down. Cheryl Swoops, a four-time WNBA champion and Hall of Famer, made it clear from the start she wasn't a Caitlin Clark believer. She questioned if Clark could handle the physicality of the WNBA. She suggested that Clark's popularity was overhyped. She even made backhanded comments about Clark's rise, implying that other players weren't getting enough credit. But then came Cynthia Cooper, one of Swoop's former teammates and the first ever WNBA MVP. Cooper publicly defended Clark, calling her one of the craftiest players she's ever seen. Lisa Leslie made headlines when she publicly stated that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese should share the Rookie of the Year award. That statement fueled an already heated debate between fans who believed Clark was clearly the best rookie.
And I do still think the decision is tougher than you seem to think. I still stand on the fact that I think that is Caitlin Clark because of all of the things that I've mentioned before, but because people don't really do their research, I'll remind them again, because it is harder to translate as a guard right away in the league, and also because of not just the historical stuff that she's doing, but because she is so integral to what the Fever do and the idea that she is at the moment leading her team to the postseason. How you contribute to your team and what your contributions mean in terms of team success is important. And so I think that it should be Caitlin Clark as Rookie of the Year, while I still enjoy the debate for people that feel like it should be Angel Reese.
And those who wanted Reese to receive equal recognition.